Jen here, back with a layout for the Crafty Maven Getaway group. I'm very excited to be coming to you today on, I think it's Wednesday. So it is kind of a whatever you kind of want on Wednesdays. So I used the inspiration piece and I loved that wood grain, the different color wood grain. I am using the Simple Stories Summer Vibes collection for the most part. There's a couple other things from my stash, but that's pretty much the collection I'm using. And I also ended up with the Essentials kind of paper pack that had the wood grain, the different color wood grains. So I just cut 3 random size pieces of paper here from that wood grain pack and just glued them onto a 12 by 12 white cardstock. These colors kind of reminded me of the colors that were in that, it's like the wood, like the side of the house almost, except it's not the purple. I don't have a lot of purple, so I didn't really use purple here at all. I went with more subtle colors, and the photo that I showed you at the very beginning is just a photo of my Kindle, and I was sitting at a picnic table in a state park, just spent the afternoon reading. It was a day I had my nephew and he was sound asleep in a stroller, and this was back in May, so I enjoyed a complete relaxing afternoon with my Kindle, and I just kind of journal here. The layout is pretty much about the fact that I love to read. I've been a reader forever. And I kind of talked about just that day in particular, that it was it was like one of those first summer where it's nice and warm out. It was about 80 degrees, and my little guy was sound asleep, and I had my Kindle with me, and it was just so perfect. It was like the best afternoon. So you're seeing me here go through a whole bunch of the embellishments for the Simple Stories line, and I really wanted to try to use one of these white or colored stickers on the layout, but I just couldn't get anything to work the way I wanted it to. And I think I have 2 or 3 sets of those colored stickers. I didn't realize that I had bought. I didn't think I had gotten them from one order, and apparently I had, and so they both showed up within the same week. But the more the merrier. I really like them, and I know I'll use them in Project Life or some of my vacation albums. I'm also going through the die cut pack here and pulling out a couple of embellishments. More so, they're more general embellishments that I pull out because it wasn't truly summer yet. It was May, so I pulled out a camera and a little tag and this little speech bubble with a heart on it, and I did cut out from the cut apart sheet a 3x4 card from that awesome paper I loved. That was like my favorite 12 by 12 piece of paper, the one that was like the Sunburst. And there was this 3x4 card that says "Enjoy the Simple Life," and that's exactly what I did that day. So I did pull out a pair of sunglasses, and I don't think I pulled anything out from the chipboard. I don't think I had anything that worked. I did, however, have this old basic gray line. I'm not even quite sure of the name of the line, but it had purple letters, and the letters, they were like purple polka dot, and they just went so perfectly with the colors of this layout, and it brought in a little bit of purple from the inspiration piece. So I was really excited to find those. And so I kind of played around here a little bit and then decided I was going to go in a different direction. I knew I needed to map my photo on something. And I literally I have a whole pile of scraps on my desk. So I was playing around here. This, I think, was a scrap from the We Are Memory Keepers. I think it's called Jet Set, their travel line. It was about, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And it's just multiple different colored polka dots, almost on a cream. Yeah, I'd say a cream. So I am going to mount my photo on that piece of paper, and I do try to throw in some other scraps behind it here. One just to kind of add a little bit more interest, and they do end up making it on. I had these 2 strips. One was from the I Heart Summer collection. That's just the newspaper words, and then another just a teal piece of paper. So I kind of staggered them, and just for a little bit of interest behind my photo before I matted it on the larger piece because I didn't like how large the polka dots were. I liked the polka dots, but I didn't want them to be the main theme of my page here. So I struggled a little bit with this photo. Or this layout. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. And recently I have really been enjoying diagonal layouts. So that's what this layout ends up turning into. It turns into a more diagonal theme going from the top left to the bottom right. It really has been a fallback layout for me in the last, maybe 3 months or so. I've done multiple. The nice thing is most of them are not in the time. I don't scrap chronologically, so it really doesn't matter. It's just more of what I prefer at the moment. Picture-wise is how I scrap. I don't say I have to get this event done before I can move on. No, I'm not like that at all. Whatever photo catches my fancy for the afternoon or the evening, that is what I do. I will go back and forth among events, and so I will never truly be caught up, and that's why I have trouble putting my layouts into albums because I do store my layouts chronologically, so more often than not I just have stacks of layouts hanging around because I know that I've got more to add to the album and I don't want to add it until everything's done. So I don't know, you win some, you lose some, I guess. So these are those chipboard alphabet, the chipboard alphabet from Basic Gray that I was telling you about. It is this soft purple with white polka dots. And I pull out my title, which is going to be A Bookish Afternoon. And I was just kind of playing around with the placement of my photo there because I knew I could use the empty green space, like white space in the photo where the trees are, to overlap my 3x4 card. And I could have easily used the title, Enjoy the Simple Life, from that 3x4 card as my true title, but I decided it didn't really fit the theme that I wanted to convey. I really wanted to talk about this awesome afternoon reading my book, how I enjoy reading, and I always have enjoyed reading. And I do have a photo of my nephew, the same place, the same day. He was sound asleep in his stroller, so that'll probably go opposite in my album, this layout. I don't think I've scrapped the photo though. That's the thing. So that's my problem with the albums. One thing catches my eye, and then I know I have another companion page that I want to go opposite it. Instead of just leaving the extra page open in my album, I can't do that. So I have to wait till I scrap it, and then I can add it in. So this was quite a tedious task of gluing down all of these letters because the collection was a little bit older. It might have even been more than a year ago. Maybe it was like 2 years ago. But it was a summer theme Basic Gray, and I'm not a Basic Gray fan. I don't usually buy Basic Gray. I don't really enjoy Basic Gray, but this chipboard, I think it might have gotten it at Tuesday Morning or a discount store. It has a giant, the whole collection had a giant Volkswagen van, I think, on it. I think that was the draw to me. I really like the Volkswagen vans, and so anytime I see something with it, I tend to buy it. And I think, like I said, I think it was from a discount store. So because it's an older collection, they didn't stick very well. Like, I go back, I think, and you can see me looking at my camera there. I'm sorry. I think I go back and end up gluing them down because they didn't stick as well as I would have liked. I am going through my stash here and pulling out a whole bunch of different enamel dots as possibilities, and I do settle on a couple. I have this set from Michaels that are like this light pink, almost like with a hint of coral, and then I have these My Mind's Eye ones that are a teal, and then I think I do also use those freckled, no, they're not freckle fawn, they're Chicken Craft stars. Sorry, I've got my dogs in here. I'm trying to get them not to bark. I apologize if you heard them. So I do use those two enamel dots. Maybe the Chicken ones didn't. Oh no, I went back and I went through looking for sequins instead of the Chicken stars, enamel stars. So I pull out, I think these are, I know they're Maggie Holmes. Not sure. It's from one of her most recent collections. And they were the giant stars with not stars, the giant gold, like pinked, I don't know, circles, I guess. They're like kind of like a flower base. And then they had the pink flower sequins and then the teal sequins. So I kind of used a mix of all of them. I also knew I had not a wood veneer. I knew what I was looking for, but I couldn't find it. I have this piece of cork that says bookworm on it, and I really wanted to use it. That one's from Freckled Fawn, and that was kind of my whole plan, was to use it on this layout, and then I added it in, and the cork just didn't go. I could not make it work, and you can see me here. I'm just trying to make it work, and it just didn't work. I couldn't get it to work. So that unfortunately didn't make it. That was the whole inspiration from for scrapping that layout. Is I'm like, I have that cork piece that says bookworm, and I thought it would just, with the colors, it would go okay, but it just doesn't. So I guess I'll just have to scrap another layout with a book in it. So I'm going to use these micro Zots to glue down my sequins. That is my adhesive of choice for sequins. They're so easy. They're teeny tiny and they're super strong. They don't fall off. And then I do have some glue dots for the larger ones that I also use. And then that will actually finish up this layout. I do journal at the end, but I did edit it out a little bit because it was about 1.5 minutes of journaling and it was kind of pointless. And then I ripped my piece of paper, pulling off a sequin. So I was trying to fix it with my glue there. But like I said, that is the end of my layout. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I am thrilled to be coming back to Crafty Maven Getaway from last month. And I have Spotlight Sunday. This will be my week on Sunday, and I have 2 layouts back to back next month. So I will see you then. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.